Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? Cape Witch here, and today the theme is something that I love to talk about it. And people ask me this a lot. You guys have no idea. I think I spend most of my days answering questions about depression and anxiety. So today we're going to talk about depression and what your depression is trying to tell you. Everything in this life is infinite, so this is just a few possibilities. If you want to know more possibilities, you just let me know and I'm going to tell you all about it. But for now, let's stick for with what I programmed. Let me start by saying that Dr. Edith Eger is the legend. She talks about depression in a way that I love, and she says that depression is the opposite of expression. I believe in that with all my might, that when you open your mouth and you start expressing and letting it out the way that you sometimes it's not even through words, but words are very powerful. You take out that heavy weight that the feelings have inside you, that the trauma is causing in your life. I highly recommend that you talk as much as you can and with people who really get you. You know what I mean? But make sure that it's someone that really listens to you with a loving heart, and not someone that shuts you down every time that you say something. You can't be scared of saying what you want to say, otherwise the depression is not going to be healed. Let me try and explain to you a few things that your depression might be wanting to tell you. Attention everyone. The first thing is that depression is a very clear sign that you are way too full of everything that has nothing to do with who you are. When you're being someone that you were not born to be, when you're going against what your nature is, and when you're becoming someone that you were never meant to become because you're trying to copy someone else instead of being yourself, depression is gonna come in like... Usually, people who go through this kind of depression, they reach rock bottom very fast. And if they don't have an anger explosion or something that gets them out of depression, they paralyze big time. And to fix it, it takes a long time, but it's possible. It's very possible. You can heal anything in this life, even the baddest trauma. Another thing is that depression can be letting you know that you are stuck in a traumatic situation from the past. So for example, depression is when something happens in your life that shocks you very much. You receive a very strong adrenaline rush that paralyzes you in the moment, like your heart and soul are paralyzed. So your body continues evolving, life goes on, people go on, everything moves, but you don't. So for example, suppose that when you were 12, your father abandoned you and you didn't heal this wound. So today you're 42. When you enter a relationship, the other person is going to expect you to come in as a full-grown 42-year-old adult. The problem is that inside you, you're 12, and outside, you're 42. So when you come into the relationship, they will expect a 42-year-old because this is what they see, but you're not going to be able to do that because you're still 12. So you're going to come in as a 12-year-old, and you're not going to be able to match their expectations. So how do you heal that? You go back to when you were 12. You heal when you were 12 years old. You come back to the present, align past, present, and future. Become a 42-year-old adult because the inner child will be healed already, so it's not going to need to be present right now. And then you can go on with the relationship. What can be happening is that your soul is one step away from dying. Why? Because depression is when your energy starts losing speed. And everything that loses speed breaks inertia. You know what I mean? So at some point the movement is going to stop. This is Newton's law. This is a law of motion. Okay? So this is physics. There's nothing very transcendental in it. At some point, something that stops having a little push stops moving because inertia eventually drops down. When it does, the energy gets completely still. And what happens? You paralyze completely. These are the people who cannot shower, cannot brush their teeth, cannot go to work, and life slowly starts to diminish, to be really only to become smaller. It's the people who stop traveling, who stop going out, who stop working, who stop investing, who stop taking showers, who stop going out with the friends and dancing. You know, the world, instead of expanding like it's natural, it does this movement, the reverse movement, until it's so shut down that the energy doesn't flow anymore. Well, and of course, as I've said before, speaking is very healing. So your depression many times is just saying that if you don't speak, you're gonna explode. Why? Because there's so much stuck inside of you that you're overwhelmed. You know, your body can't put up with it anymore. Let me tell you something very important about this. People really underestimate the power of speaking their minds and speaking their hearts. Most of all, we are all emotionally constipated. So the problem is that when you don't speak, your mind starts to talk too much. And so every little problem grows out of proportion. Something that is very simple and very easy to figure out becomes a monster. And then you become stuck with that. And the problem grows. Sometimes when you speak, you release so much energy that what was a problem before is not even a problem anymore. You know, sometimes you don't even have to search for a solution because it's not even a problem once you speak and you realize that. You know, depression might be telling you that you need to drop the masks and embrace who you are. A lot of people are depressed because they are wearing masks. As soon as they drop the mask, the problem is solved. And they begin to get to know who they are and grow and expand, and their souls are happy again, and the energy starts flowing again, and they create movement and transformation and all the beautiful things. This is, oh my God, it's so simple and it can heal so much. A lot of people that I know that are depressed taking medication, they are simply not being themselves. That's why they are depressed, and they are taking medication. Like, what? Because if you go against what your soul wants, of course you're going to be unhappy. Of course you're not going to want to wake up in the morning. What for? You're not even doing what you're supposed to do in this life. You're not even being yourself. You're not fulfilling your purpose and you're not fulfilling your mission. What's the point? You see? So it's very simple things that can heal your depression very fast if you discover that this is the root cause, you know? Depression many times puts you in a position where you're so stuck and you're so your energy is so drained, to put it like in a very rustic way, that change has to happen. You have to fight for your life. Change has to happen. So depression starts to grow out of proportion, to say like, let's see if this motherfucker is gonna realize what they're doing, you know? Let's try to arrange things properly here, because they are not realizing that they have to do something else, that their path is another one. So we have to create a little bit of a mystique here so they run after the solution, you know? So it's like a heads up, it's like a wake-up call. And depression is always a wake-up call. I want you to know that, just as anxiety also is. Next, maybe you are too focused on yourself, on your pain, on what's hurting you, on the things that you don't have, and you're not paying attention to the outside. So you're very self-centered. Depressed people are very often self-centered. They think that all the problems are because of them, that everybody is in pain because of them, that they are not good enough, that they this, that they that, me, and they don't realize that they're only talking and thinking about themselves. Sometimes if you look outside and if you think of something that you can do to serve others, the depression is healed automatically. Or you go to the root cause of the depression through this path, and when you come back, you already have the answers. Next, maybe you have to shift the solution, to shift the focus to the solution, not to the struggle, because people focus a lot on the struggle, like, oh, I'm so sad, oh, I can't, oh my God, I feel so bad, and they don't even care about the solution. They haven't even thought about the solution, and then they go all the way down and they start having suicidal thoughts, and they start to lose jobs, and they start to go through all kinds of crazy things and lose relationships and friends and family. Why? Because they are so focused on the, oh, I'm a victim, oh, I feel so horrible, oh, I'm alive, that they don't even realize that there is a solution. So sometimes when you're depressed, instead of playing the victim, you should just look at the solution and search for it. I'm pretty sure that it exists. We can figure everything out in life. The next thing is that depression is a very clear sign that you have to look inside and bring whatever it is that you find to the surface. It has a lot to do with the masks, you know, the masks that you wear that cover up for who you really are, for the things that you really want to talk about, for the things that you're really feeling. So if you look inside and you bring everything to the surface, it can really help you heal, because everything that you shine your light in stops being a shadow and becomes light again. So it's the circle, you know, it's the cycle. And once you become your shadow's best friend, you figure this one out. I really hope that this is really good advice. I love you guys. I hope you guys feel way better after applying these tips. And if you need any help, just contact me at thecapewitch.com. I'm waiting for it, eh? I love you guys. Be blessed. Much love. Yours truly, The Cape Witch.